Turn from your rage and do not lose your temper. It only leads to harm. That's Psalm chapter 37, verse 8. Basically, what that's saying is that your temper, that your anger leads to harm. The word harm in this verse right here, I'll read you the last line. It says, do not lose your temper, it only leads to harm. I want to focus on that last word, harm. The last word, harm, isn't talking about just cursing somebody out or fighting somebody. When you're angry, you wanna punch somebody in the face. You wanna curse somebody out. You wanna press somebody. You wanna do something. The word harm there is talking about sin. Now, yes, all those are they're technically sin, but it's sin in general. Anger leads to sin. What is sin? Sin is the separation from you and God. That's simply what sin is. Sin is the things or thing or someone or anything that separates you from God. And that's essentially what your anger does if you don't know how to control it. And before I keep on before I keep talking about this, I'm gonna get this through. The definition of anger, and the definition of anger is a natural reaction to anything like being frustrated, being threatened, being wronged. For example, if somebody treats you unfairly or just treats you in a certain type of way, if you're wronged by anything or anyone, if you're hurt or frustrated, anything like that, it's a natural reaction that you get when those things happen, and usually it's a negative emotion. And back to Psalm 37, which I'll read you the context of Psalm 37. Psalm 37 it explains the issue of why the righteous face hardships while the wicked prosper. And it encourages us to trust God no matter what. So basically, that leads to verse 8 of Psalm 37, which is what I had said, to turn from your rage, do not lose your temper, for it only leads to harm, or it only leads to sin. I wanted to bring this upon this video to share with you guys. I wanted you to know that I still go through this to this day. I don't know how to control my anger sometimes. I know a lot of other people can't control their anger sometimes. Therefore, this video hopefully will be helpful to them. I just want you guys to know what helps me, how the things I do help me, and they have helped me in the past, and they continue to help me during my journey through Christ, and I hope it helps you guys. So another thing I wanted to get out there is that negative emotions, anger, it's not only harmful to your well-being, but it can also be harmful to other people and their well-being and one's relationship with God, because your uncontrollable anger leading to sin separates you from God. It can separate someone else from God, leaving you and everybody else in a bad place. Your well-being is messed up. Whatever you did to them, they're probably messed up. And where was God in between that? Where was your thoughts of him between that? So that's why I wanted to segue into what helps me. So what helps me control my anger and being able to not sin when I get angry is always having Jesus as my first thought when I'm angry. When I'm angry, for example, there was an instance recently where something had happened and I had gotten furious. I just wanted to sin. And my first thoughts while I was being angry, it wasn't Jesus. I'm not gonna lie. I was angry and I almost had fought. I'd almost done some damage to some people or to a person. And as I sat there thinking about it, I had thought about Jesus. I had thought about Jesus, and my thoughts were, what would Jesus do? Why am I doing this? Jesus walked 3/4 of a mile with a 300-pound cross on his back while people were whipping him, whipping him, whipping him. Blood coming from all, you can see his rib cage and his intestines. You couldn't even tell what gender he was. And I'm mad at this person for doing something very childish to me, ready to throw hands at them. What am I doing? Jesus was wronged, and he was claimed, he was everyone called him a blasphemer and all this stuff. They released Barabbas, which was a guy that he was with, that was released instead of Jesus when they were going to crucify him. They released him, who was an actual thief, rather than Jesus, who was the Son of God. And Jesus said not a word. He said absolutely nothing. Yet I'm here doing this childish stuff as a Christian. Anyways, the moral of the story is, always have Jesus in your mind. Always have God in your mind. Because at the end of the day, he is the one who can show you unconditional love. He is the one who will always be there for you. He is the only one you can pray to. He's everywhere. If you feel like you don't have anything, you do, and it's God. I'm getting off track here. Anger. So I just told you my story. Always have Jesus in your mind when you're feeling angry. When you're feeling angry, always pray to him. Always think about what you should do that won't lead to sin. Your next thought should be what will get me closer to Jesus instead of what will push me away from him. If I had fought that person, I would have been pushed away from him. But instead of fighting that person, I stood there. I didn't say a word. And when the conversation was over, I apologized. And I kept a straight face. I was calm the whole time. You know what I'm saying? There's things that don't need to happen sometimes. There's just things that don't need to happen. Whether it's someone cursing you in your face and screaming at you, and you're there you're just feeling furious, but you know your actions can either push you or bring you closer to God. So at the end of the day, always think about that. So it's okay to be angry. Like I said, it's a natural reaction. Same way sadness and happiness are a natural reaction to positive and negative things. So it's all right to be angry, but how you control your anger is what matters the most. I'm angry at this person. Am I going to cuss them out, or am I going to try to understand them? Am I going to judge them, or am I going to have humility and compassion and kindness with them? Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. That was James chapter 1, verse 19 through 20. This is basically what I went off of. Slow to speak, slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. I feel like a good amount of anger can also come from judging people. Judging this person can lead to a thought that you have in your mind about how they are, how you should treat them. Oh, this person did this and this and this and this. They're not a good person. I'm going to be angry with them. I'm going to treat them badly. I'm going to treat them poorly. They're a complicated human being. I'm not gonna treat them the way I treat these other people. The things that help me not judge other people is these three things that I always keep in mind. It's humility, compassion, and patience. Humility is always it's about a self-awareness issue. When we recognize our own mistakes and our own complications, therefore we can make space for others and theirs. When we realize that we are all complicated people, we're all angry, we're all human beings, instead of worrying about yourself being better than this person, you can realize that you guys are both complicated in your own ways. That you have problems as well as I have problems. She has problems as well as he has problems. The way they handle them is different though. That's kind of also what compassion is, which is basically humanizing others. Viewing people as people and not as problems. And choosing to not judge them and have empathy for them, feel for them. Empathy is when you feel for somebody's problems and for somebody's mistakes. When you're able to understand somebody's feelings. And the last one is having patience, which is having a long-term perspective. Patience makes a lot of things better. It gives room for genuine growth and perspective. It makes room for healing and a better environment. And you rather have that than being in a rather controlling and judging environment. So yeah, those are the three things that help me not judge and not become angry with other people and control it rather than act on it. Now, before I end this video off, I hope this has helped somebody. I know I kind of went off a little bit. I was kind of like yapping a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, but I hope that this got to somebody. This helped at least a little bit. I'm gonna make more videos up and coming. It's really late right now, I'm not gonna lie. It's like 12 or 1 o'clock. But I did want to end this video off in a prayer. So if you bow your heads and close your eyes real quick. I just want to say that, Lord, thank you for always giving me grace and mercy. Help me treat others with the same deep, unconditional love that I've received from you. I want to walk in compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience, even when I'm dealing with people who are challenging. In Jesus' name I pray.